sky. I think about it every night and day. I spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. 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 People get ready. There's a train a-comin'. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear diesels humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
It might help.
What a good start.
Can you give me that microphone there, please? Hello, everybody. Let's go back. See that hand there?
When I
That's
said,
the hand of the thief.
when I said it was going to be chaos, you thought I was joking.
Here it is. I'll try again. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free. And he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up your smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. Oh, he said, John, I believe this is killing me. As a smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are. You've got us feeling all right. Now, Paul, he's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. But he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy, and probably will be for life. Oh, and the waitress is practicing politics. As the businessman, they slowly get stoned. Oh, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. It's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday.
I'm trying to show off now.
See, top D. Still now.
You're just trying to prove that you can play those notes as well. Okay. Okay.
Do you want to play it another way?
No.
No. No. Hello. Hello, Sue. How you doing?
Hello. I'm all right. You
Nice
all
one.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It's been a mixed bag, hasn't it?
Next week.
Next week it was. We didn't see you last week, and then I was ill the weekend last weekend, and it was a bit nasty, really. And then I couldn't see my mother and father, and I couldn't do anything. Really, I was a bit naff, really.
Yeah, you were a bit poorly at the beginning of the week.
I was. What's wrong with me? Had a bad time with my consultant, who told me it had gone down, and I had to have a biopsy.
When he says it has gone down, what he means is his kidney function.
Yeah, but anyway.
But it's all right. By the next day, it's gone up again.
But well, actually, that same day.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Can I just tell you, folks? You see, this is the problem. Don't get kidney disease. I would choose not to get kidney disease. So don't give yourself diabetes. And I say that to my dear friends out there. You know who you are. And I'm going to sing you a song later on. But do your best not to get diabetes and get checked. All right? And then do as you're told. Once you don't just leave it as I did.
That was the problem, wasn't it?
That was the problem.
You did not do as you were told.
A difficult week, but culminating.
That's exciting.
Oh, it was very exciting because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the penultimate. After nearly 5 years.
Nearly 5 years that we've been in this room
with
all you lovely people.
Yeah, that's right. And it was announced they're having a commemoration day for COVID.
But it was April the 5th that we started.
April the 5th we started doing the shows.
5
with a
years ago.
computer,
I can't believe that.
a little laptop out Joan, out of time. And here we are with program 6 cameras, and we're about to add one. Is it 5 cameras? 5 cameras and adding, I don't know. Yeah, adding another 2.
So just to bring you up to speed.
Here we go.
So
I'll do some accompanying music.
The grand piano that was in the other room has now gone, much to Jonathan's sadness. The painting has begun. Al has done about
Painting
three-quarters of the room now, so it's beginning to look very smart. And so the next move is that Al will finish the decorating, and then we'll start putting all the books and all the CDs, and not CDs, but big albums back up on the shelves. And then Rachel, then we get this Steinway moved a week tomorrow. This Steinway,
after the windmills have come in.
After the windmills come in next week,
They're going to help us clear this room.
They don't know yet. So on the Monday, we have someone coming to move the Steinway from in here into the other room, so that we can then start having the damp treated in here. So once that Steinway's in there, we won't be seeing you again until it's all sorted, and then, wow, are you going to notice a difference?
You will. And I haven't even got a special guest for that.
You don't need one. The room is the special guest.
What?
The room will be the special guest.
Oh no, we're gonna have, and that's what we're gonna do. We've already talked. Mark and I've been making plans. We'll have a trio in there. There's enough room to have lots of people in there, musicians, the lot, rather than just.
It's actually the Steinway Hall.
It was Steinway Hall. Mr. Owen Lamb came in this week and was generous with his advice and his help and everything else. We thank those of you who contributed to the studio that the community built, effectively by your generosity. And with the help of various people, they're going to come and build it, and it's going to be a marvellous addition. This piano will be the first time it's been moved in, 10 years?
At least.
It'll be 10 years it was moved in here. I wonder how she's going to respond. I don't respond very well to being moved at all, do I?
No, I think it's going to be...
I
think it's more than 13, actually.
Is it 13? Right, well, there you go.
A long time.
Anyway, she made me, under pain of death, get rid of the other piano. She just robbed me. She withdrew, and she got rid of it to a church in Loughborough. However, it is what it is. And now we can't wait to get that in there and get this room back, which would be nice, won't it, Sue?
It will.
Been the first time in 5 years. We don't even know what it looks like properly without a piano and without everything.
Without all the cameras and everything else.
I think it'll be the
wires on the floor.
I think it'll be your room. So that'll be all 4 bedrooms of yours now, right? And this room down here. So I'll have one room.
This is only right, don't you think? I think it's just.
Anyway, you're looking lovely, and it's a pretty good crowd.
Yeah, it is.
For a Sunday.
Yeah.
Because of course it's Mr.
in.
Mark Edwards is coming in. That's why. Oh yes.
Excitement, yes.
Mark Edwards. And the manager. What? Oh.
Christine Windmiller said, so now we know why I've been invited for
next
Sunday.
Yes, quite.
That's it. You're going to be under the piano afterwards, clearing all the wires.
Manager. She gives me a smile. We've got a lot to do tonight.
Okay, moving on.
Because she knows it's me. I can do that as well, you see. They've been coming to see. To forget about life for a while. Oh, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival. And the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. The notes die away from the Steinway. Once again, we welcome you to JV Live from the Steinway Room with Sue. sometimes. And Sue, right over to you.
Yes,
And our special
right at the
guest, don't forget, our special guest in tonight. And if you're out making a cup of tea, we can give you a bit of a moment to go and get that cup of tea or whatever else you've got stored up for yourself and whatever food, and get back in here, because this man is not to be missed. My friend, my colleague, my mate for many years now, and my record producer, everything, all in one, Mark Edwards, CBE, MBE. Lord, your sir is coming very soon as well, for your services to everything. We'll see you in a minute. Sue, over to you for some notices.
Over to me. Right, some notices. So where are we? Next Saturday, we're at Fleet Methodist Church in Fleet in Hampshire. On the following weekend, we're in Carshorton Baptist Church. That's on the Friday, on the 21st. So if you're near either of those, we'll look forward to seeing you. On Easter Sunday, we're going to be up at New Springs Church in Loughborough, which is always a wonderful occasion. So if you're in that area, do come and see us and join us, and it will be great fun, I can tell you. Easter Sunday, April the 20th, up in New Springs Church, Loughborough. In May, on the 3rd, we're in Churchdown with the lovely Connells, and that was just lovely the last time that we were there, and we're looking forward to going back. The 16th and the 17th of May, we're down in Appledore, along with Roger Jones and crew for the Appledore Festival. So Jonathan's concert is on the Friday the 16th. So again, why not make an opportunity to take a trip out to there and see us there. June the 14th, we're at Kennet Valley, which is near Bracknell. And on the 28th of June, we're in Cromer. And then off to Thornley again on the 26th of July until the 2nd of August. That's always a great time away. So that's a week away with JV and Sue. And on the 23rd, yes, Rachel, of course, and the 23rd of August, we're in Paynton. And as Rachel has said at the bottom there, further dates to follow. I'm putting them in the diary already. So if you want to know more information about that, then you need to go onto the website, which is jonathanveira.com. And there are all the details about the concerts. You'll be able to find out where they are, what time they start, and how to get tickets. If you would like to know how to go about using Jonathan in your church or in your situation, then just contact me, Sue at jonathanveira.com. I would be delighted to talk to you about it and discuss it with you. If you have any other questions, then just write to me there. What have we got next, Rachel? Oh, yes, the spring Steinway dates. Well, at the moment, we've only got one on there for March, which is the 16th of March, which is the lovely windmills. We said, count everyone in. And then it's really as we can see how we can get on. But let's see you all next Sunday, March the 16th, which will be wonderful. If you haven't already subscribed to Jonathan Veira on YouTube, then you need to do so. So you click on the thumb, you press subscribe and hit the notification bell. And that means that every time something happens with Jonathan, we put something up, we put a video up or whatever, then you get notified about it. So no more missing Jonathan. So there we are. That's how you do it. And last but not least, we're going to tell you about YGAF. Jonathan, Got a Friend Trust.
Am I on screen?
Yes.
Hallelujah. Got a Friend Trust is out there to help you. Adrian is going through some medical stuff at the moment, and we're going to sing him a song later. But in the meantime, people through the trust will be delighted to hear of your request, or indeed if you'd like to give to the trust, so that other people can be helped. There's a Christian term for it called a blessing, so they can be a blessing. But I like to call it being helped. And if you need helping, then don't let pride affect you. Just go for it. Let's do it. Let's make a difference. And if you need it, and if you need help, say you've got a washing machine, or you know somebody who needs a new washing machine. It's broken down. It's beyond repair. Needs a new fridge. Needs a new bed. Something needs even a taxi ride to and from the hospital. They've got some really acute needs at the moment, and the only way forward is for them to get a little gift. I've been doing that, just helping people, and we've been doing that now through Got a Friend Trust for a number of years, and we want to keep doing it. The information is up there on the screen. If you're too embarrassed to contact them, contact me directly, and I'll help you, me or Sue, and we will help you to find your way through to the trust. There are a few questions, but there's nothing. It's not the DHSS. Okay, and with all the changes that are coming, I know many of you are going to start to feel the pinch, and many of you are feeling the pinch already. Okay, and so we're here, if we can, to help you, to put an arm around you and say you are loved, you are cared for, and we'll do what we can to help you. Okay, I think that's about it, and I think actually we need to have a video featuring the man himself, Con Moi. Here we go now. Of course, when I was practicing Chopin and Mozart, what I wanted to play was my favorite style of music at that time, and it was the blues and boogie-woogie. Thank you very much. Are we? Yes. Go. Fly me to the moon.
What's your tempo?
Look, no, stop. Let's stop. Now look. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Come on and fill my life with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. Oh, in other words, I love you. Come on and fill my life with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. Oh, in other words, I love you. Oh, that was all right, Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Where's your mic?
Here it is.
Here it is. Well, that was a good... I always like to start like that. In the same way I started Piano Man, without a mic.
Yes. I'm learning from the master. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
The,
something always happens like that. Mark, how are you, mate? Welcome back into the
good.
Steinway room.
I'm really good. It's great to be here.
Boy,
Lovely to
it's
see
been
you. Lovely
been
to
some
hear
time,
you.
Actually.
Yeah.
It's been about a
Yeah,
year.
well, I was going to come at Christmas,
You
wasn't
were,
I?
and I was ill.
And you sacked me. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I've heard your
Oh,
piano
no, you
playing,
weren't well, yeah.
and I
Yeah.
thought, what's happened? You know. No, it's lovely to
Yeah,
have
it's
your
been
chops
ages.
back with us now. Your fingers are just moving. We rehearsed a little bit before we started
yeah.
tonight, and just run through a few songs. We don't really know what the order is, as usual. It's a kind of a show of guest work. Anyway, that song particularly for P at the moment, who's been having a rough time of it. P, you're a good man, and we wish you all the best for this. And I know that that song, Fly Me to the Moon, you love the jazz standards, don't you? So actually, that one was definitely for you. And P and Rachel, they are loyal people who've been part of this community for all of the 5 years coming up April. And he's been in and out of hospital. He's got Crohn's, and it's been very difficult. It's been very difficult for him. But he gets to one of my concerts. He's officially my stalker. Both of them are. And I often have to call the police. But it's nice. Mark, how are you, mate? Tell me, what have you been doing with yourself?
I'm good. I've been pretty much locked away in the studio. That's what a few gigs. They let me out occasionally. I get into London or something.
Where were you last night? You were in Stamford.
Last night I was playing in Stamford. Yeah, a lovely
Up off the
little
A1, isn't it?
church. Yeah, a lovely little church that puts on concerts, jazz music with a wonderful Danish singer called Sarah Oslag.
Yeah, I saw.
And she's great. She's been doing stuff with Ronnie Scott's orchestra and getting sort of good
notices, yeah.
recognition. We've got some gigs coming up with her in Ireland and Denmark, and
Fantastic.
so. But with the
With the
trio, you're
With
featuring
our trio,
on your
yeah.
album, Darren and Arnie.
Exactly.
It's always fabulous to play with them. It was a great night. It was a good crowd. It was a lovely piano.
And that for those of you who don't know, with the albums that came out, which were Lockdown Sessions 1 and 2 and 3, actually, which were made possible by your contributions. If you've forgotten, we did things like You Got a Friend and stuff, but we also did a number of jazz standards on there. But they played on nearly on all of them, didn't they? They played on all 3.
Yeah.
I think Darren wasn't on the last album, on the Christmas album, but great. Some of the best jazz players in the country. That's not an exaggeration. I think they are.
Absolutely, yeah, they are. Well, Darren's came back from New York about 5 years ago after 20 years playing in New York, and has just one of the busiest jazz drummers, and also rock drums. I mean, he did an album with Ronnie Wood.
Oh my goodness!
Also Billy Bragg. He just did his last album, and all sorts.
Such a talent, isn't he? And such the nicest man.
Yeah.
The same as Arnie. The recording of the albums were just the best.
Yeah.
When we recorded the Christmas album, it's Christmas time. We were just locked in this small studio, and I think he was overcome by the way that we all just kind of got on together. It was a sense of brotherhood. There was no kind of ego involved in it. That which is unusual in music, and I think I've had all my ego beaten out of me by my wife, so it's fine. That's all gone now. I used to have that badoom. Hold on, there's going to come a test card. I know there will do. It's just going to, Oh, there it is, and there's a test card. Mark, when you were playing yesterday, what were you playing? What kind of stuff were you playing?
We were playing jazz standards. Sarah writes quite a lot of lyrics to jazz standards. We do quite a lot of Charlie Mingus music.
Yes.
The famous American bass player who was a
So
bit
give
of
us
a
a kind of
character.
a flavour of what you were doing. That's it. Well, thank you very much. That was very good. A little bit of ketchup. That's nice. And you had some hot sauce as well. Did you get kind of? Was it speed playing and?
There's a few up tempo. It's lovely. It's lovely arrangements. Sarah did an album a couple of years ago, so we're playing quite a lot of arrangements from that.
When you do the arrangements, you don't do it exactly the same, or do you just you have your chord patterns? That's what people don't understand with jazz. You have your chord patterns, but you play different things. Would that be fair? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot of improvisation. We start with the tune. We have an arrangement, what we call head arrangement. So we have maybe take a standard tune, and we'll do an arrangement of that tune.
Okay, let's
sing it,
start
and then we
Happy Birthday. Let's say Happy Birthday. Let's do Happy Birthday in G. Okay.
Yeah.
And then so you start. Give us the head. This is the tune.
Blah blah blah. You can do so much with tunes, and that's really a big part of the jazz tradition is to rearrange, reimagine tunes with different feels, different tempos. Sometimes you take an up tempo tune and play it very slow like a ballad, and bring a whole different sort of feel to the lyric. And like we did on the Christmas album when we did the All I Want for Christmas.
All I Want for Christmas.
And we did it.
How did that go?
Which is normally.
Yeah.
And we did it like.
The Christmas, all I want a place. I want more to do. That between the living tree. I don't want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is
so that
you.
Becomes much more romantic,
very
doesn't
different,
it? And
a different feel.
So that's very much part of the tradition in jazz is to you have this whole American songbook, thousands of amazing songs that keep getting reinterpreted, bringing in all sorts of different influences and the development of jazz and the language of jazz through the years,
the years.
modernise, and we play great tunes from the 1920s or 1930s or whatever. And you can.
So a lot of the stuff, and Mark and I were talking, and I think actually one of the things is that I need a project, people. And I thought Mark and I I don't know how many albums we've done together now, but 10, 12, 15, I can't remember now, whatever it is.
Something like that.
And I haven't recorded with you for ages. And one of the things is that recording is difficult now because record companies they're not getting people to do it. You do it on your own, and you do it because it's there to be done. The hill is there to be climbed. Have you marked down some stuff?
Just wanted to say that Rosalie is watching tonight from a hospital bed.
God, Rosalie, bless you. Lovely to have you. You've been in all kinds of trouble, haven't you, darling?
Yeah.
But such a lovely lady. So we'll do a song for you as well, all right, my love? Your son Robert has been writing to me and telling me all that's going on. But we were saying about recording, and I think actually it would be nice. Do write to me if we've got some ideas of songs, that we should do, like Ain't Misbehaving, Is it in G? No one to walk with, all by myself. No one to walk with, 'cause I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Oh, I'm no need to talk with, all by myself. No need to walk with, 'cause I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Come on, words. That and party, whatever. And those kind of songs. Would you like an album of that? Would you buy one? Because one of the things is we can do them. We'll do them. I think we'll do them anyway. But it would be nice to have these American songs. One that I've wanted to do for a long time with you was In the Wee Small Hours. And I think let's kind of, should we go to that? Let's do a little bit of that kind of that feel. C major, I think it is, isn't it? And it was one, but old Frankie did it, and it really captured my imagination. And those arrangements of those times were fantastic, weren't they? Yeah. They were absolutely the orchestral mixing with the big band, great piano players of the time, and you saw the chops were lovely. They had really good fingers. So
I think with I was going to say listening to some old soul records as well recently, and the staggering feat of, because you only had a few microphones often, and nowadays we use all this technology and mixing and balancing everything, but after it's been recorded with all this what we call post-production. But some of those recordings, they just sound amazing. The sound quality, all recorded on a few mics, and the microphone placement, the sound of the room, and everyone being absolutely the singers and the orchestra, and it's that performance all
rehearsed,
done.
Really,
it's
staggering
achievements to do that. I mean, we're so reliant on technology in making records. People rarely make records like that, but it's the sound recording as well, with the way everything has to be exactly the right position in the room, where the mics are, to get the balance right. That's the mix. Is just in where you put the microphones. Whereas, and
actually, but suddenly getting together in the room again with a musician, which I don't do now all these days, years of working with musicians, and then suddenly, because of the way life works and the way it is, and the lack of desire for recordings, you suddenly start withdrawing from musicians, and you're doing your own thing. You do your one-man show, and it's fun. But for me, everybody, the brilliance of this man is that he can go from style to style, and he would always let me be me. I think that was the strength of the way we worked together. I think that was right, wasn't it? When I'd come back and I'd say that.
Yeah, because there are many people that you've worked with over the years who would want you to be predictable, or they would want you to be like someone else, or something that they could get a handle on. Whereas Mark, you've always gone, JV, just be JV. Yeah, we can work with that. We can do something together. Yeah. And that's been fantastic, the two of you working together in that way, allowing him to be him. Yeah,
which is often that's a main thing. So with this one, let's see. This is the first time we're really doing this. So let's try and remember what we did next door about 20 minutes ago. In the wee small hours of the morning, when the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and think about the girl, and never ever think of counting sheep. When the whole wide world has learned its lesson, you'd be hers if only she would call. In the wee small hours of the morning, that's the time you miss her most. Oh, of all. In the wee small hours of the morning, when the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and think about the girl, and never ever think of counting sheep. When the whole wide world has learned its lesson, you'd be hers if only she would call. In the small hours of the morning, that's the time you miss her most.
Okay, so that's going on the next album then. Oh my days, that was awesome. Considering you two knocked it up in the last hour, I think that's quite something.
Yes,
that was amazing.
That was lovely.
Yeah,
Really
it was
beautiful.
wonderful,
Really
It's just
beautiful.
sensational, but it makes a difference when the song is so beautifully written. And do you know what? It's compact. There it
Yes.
is. It's 8
Yeah.
lines.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And some of the
Yeah,
best
that's
of these popular songs were short.
Yeah.
You know, they had such a haunting melody, and just a few major changes. You know, where you da 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 da. There's a little moment. You see, we in musician terms, we always identify the moments. We always break it down. So when the just play that for them again. That lead. Listen. So in other words, an ascending chromatic scale. Then what happens in the second time? They come down from B flat. Right?
Yeah.
So those little moments are the voices that make the difference. And you can't. People don't. I don't know what it is, but I like that. That's what it is, because musicians take time to create. So when you listen to our albums, they are often. We said this today that we used to spend hours. I mean weeks. Hymns Project 2. It was 6 months in the creation. And it just went on and on and on, and we kept going, going back and changing and going back and changing, and then eventually okay. And we said, do people actually hear that difference? We don't know whether they do or whether they don't. But you made the point that somebody listens, and then they make a comment. Then they suddenly come to you and say, I listened to that, and it made a difference. You know, when you were saying about this, weren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. It's so rewarding, isn't it, when it's meant something to somebody, all that detail on the work that you put into something, because you're just trying to make people feel something, to connect and engage emotionally. And it means so much, doesn't it? Just even one or two people come up. So I listened to that album when I was going through a difficult time, or that was the soundtrack to my life for 6 months, and and I had it on all the time. It's incredibly rewarding. That's
and it's surprising.
I think, I was just going to say, but it's so right what you said about the counter melodies and the harmony, what's going on underneath, because so often nowadays we sort of, you hear this thing, the melody, the melody's gone.
Yes.
Why aren't people writing melodies? But often it's actually what's going on underneath that has that emotional
content.
You take that. If I just I mean, obviously I'm playing it a bit crass, but it's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's harmony underneath. A lot of the greatest, you take something like Barber's Adagio for strings or something like that, and it's very, very simple melody, but it's what's going on underneath, and that's often what's also changed in pop music, and is that sometimes we've lost some of that. The old songbook, or the chords and the harmony that went on underneath, and it's
it was so rich and diverse.
Yeah.
And I think I remember you saying something to me years ago. You said you were at a recording session. We won't mention the person because you'll know who it was. And you were playing in this session, and they said to you at the time, "Oh, let's just keep it simple. Let's keep it more simple." And you just went, "No." What did you say? Let's make it more complicated. Let's make it more. And you came back and said, "I'm sick and tired of just making it simple, because we're playing we're doing worship, so therefore God somehow wants it to be simple." But you said to me something about God being infinite, infinitely varied.
Well, you take the most complicated music and the most beautiful, the difference between a wonderful symphony or something, which has taken a lifetime to have the skill to be able to do that and to learn the organisation and orchestration and the form of music. I mean, that's all God's idea, isn't it? I mean, he made it possible. He didn't sort of give us all that to not use it. And
but people are very interested. I mean, if I said to you, it's interesting. Somebody said to me just recently. They said, we went to see Bill Bailey. It's amazing. He could literally play Happy Birthday in the minor key. So I sat and did it. They went, "Oh, right." And what was it you were saying that?
It's a thing. It's a thing. You could take sort of songs written in the major key, and play them in the minor, and or vice versa, and with hilarious results.
Well, go on then, give us.
The good one is Match of the Day, the Match of the Day thing. And when you play that in a minor key, it kind of
goes.
turns into a sort of Russian folk song. And you're just changing one note, aren't you, really?
Yeah, the minor third, yes. There it is. It's great. Let's sing a song. We'll sing, and then afterwards, just do...
Which one are you going to sing?
I think we might sing... Why don't we do Wonderful World?
You're going to do this
Now, I'm going to do this for a few people, but I'm going to do this for a beautiful couple. And Mark, I haven't told you this story, but that we called the other day a God incident. And it wasn't a coincidence. And he's a man I would call my friend, with his lovely wife, Leica. And they're in tonight, I hope, and watching. And he is a doctor from Iraq, and she told me her story. She was also from Iraq, and then became a refugee under Saddam Hussein, and moved across to Iran, left to walk for 14 days with her family of 12. She was 4 at the time, and then eventually lived in tents over in Iran, where then she went from Iran to Sweden and was able to find refuge there, a word that is becoming strangely poisonous and toxic, refuge. The thought of being a refugee in this world, apparently, according to nearly everybody, is, well, we've got to help our own, that thing. And she told this story, and they were the most gracious couple.
Yeah, delightful couple.
And he is a doctor and a lovely man. And he came for lunch the other day.
Well, they came for
They came for lunch, both of them, and we shared his story. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I came in here, and he plays the oud, very difficult. That's why he saw me on that particular day, some weeks ago now. He wasn't going to see me, and he said, come to my house. I don't know why he's suddenly Russian. I don't know why he's not Russian. He's not Russian, okay? He said, come to my house. And they greeted me. This lovely couple greeted me, shoes off, and went to talk with them. I ended up spending 3 hours and 20 minutes. She fed me with chicken biryani, and it was absolutely gorgeous. The most wonderful incident, and we've become friends. He said, so I come to play music with you soon. And he said, you help me with my voice. So I look forward to that, to helping with you. I have no idea how to speak Farsi. I don't know how to help with the language, but we're going to help with breathing and everything else. But I came in here and I played the piano and I played some Bach and I played some Mozart. And then he said to me, play something I know. Play something I know.
So you did.
So I did, and it was a wonderful world. So we're going to dedicate it to them, and I'd also like to dedicate this to, who else was there? What was I going to say? I'll think of it. I've written it down. To Adrian, I think, actually, as well. Adrian, who's been going through a lot, and a real friend, and a friend to many, and having treatment, and he is mainly, I think, helping all the others around him, and as he's having his treatment. This one, Wonderful World, for Dr. M and Leica and Adrian. Here we go, let's see what we do with this. I see trees of green and red roses too. I see the room for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, a bright, blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. Well, I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. Well, I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to what a wonderful You're a blessing to me, Mark.
Fabulous. Can I just say, you guys have recorded that twice now, and that was completely different. Again, it's fabulous.
Well, it was great. It's a great tempo. You see, you set the tempo a lot slower.
Yeah,
and that was great.
Mate. Sorry about that.
No. You see, this is what I think actually is the heart of what is possible then with the vocals. And actually, you always, if you don't notice it, Sue, but Mark is always watching.
Oh, I noticed.
Always watching carefully. Because he knows my breathing, he knows what I do, he knows how long I can hold a note on or whatever. And then he just shouts, head. And that's it. And we go back. And head means straight back to the top, or actually in this case it was the repeat line. But it's that, that's what I miss. It's because you have the pleasure still of playing live gigs with people. And I would love to do more, but it's always about money, isn't it? It's always about, you pay for a trio, that's £1,000 plus whatever expenses. So that's a lot of money to make up, which you then can't, because gigs are not that well paid. So immediately you've got to do it. You've got to find it from somewhere. What I need, people out there, is a rich benefactor, so we can go around and do some gigs with the Mark Edwards trio plus me, and that would be nice. So if anybody's got any money lying around, we could set up one. That's what I'd like to do, set up a gig towards the end of the year and do another one of our live specials. I enjoyed that. That was
absolutely.
Good. That was good fun.
And it's rehearsing and everything as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It costs so much money.
It costs so much money to put on a gig.
To put music on, the preparation, and
because you send stuff out to people, and you've got to learn this. But I mean, you're the only kind of people who can turn up and do it in one rehearsal. Do it in the afternoon and do it, but that's quite exhausting. It's quite a difficult day for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But especially, I notice that as I get older. Do you notice you're slowing down? Now you've hit 60?
Certain things, a little bit, yeah. Certainly the body's getting a bit creaky, the bones and things. But some I think also, I spend most of my time in the studio, and you're, working at a slow pace,
Yes.
developing something, arranging and finessing something and adding bit by bit, and you lose some of the skills of like playing by ear, remembering lots of tunes. Because as a jazz musician, we're expected to sort of know probably 1,000 standards or something.
About 1,000.
Well, that's
Ish.
maybe that's maybe a lot of people do. That's a bit of a stretch for me, but. When you're not, it's those sort of muscles. It's not just kind of physical technique of playing. It's the muscles of form and your timing and your, memory of repertoire. All those things. When you're not doing it sort of 4 or 5 times a week or something, that kind of.
Do you find that I always find when I'm going, if I stop for 6 weeks or something, right, holiday time, we've never stopped. I don't think I've stopped for 6 weeks for a long time. But even over Christmas. And I went to do a gig in Shrewsbury. It was a lovely gig, absolutely sensational. But my chops were missing, definitely, and my muscle memory just went, well, who are you? It was like doing a song, and somebody said, play some blues. So I thought, I'll do my normal one that we did on there, and improvise. And I lost it on the improvisation. I couldn't hold. Thank you for that.
That's what I mean. Those are the other skills aside from the physical thing. The mental practices. There's so much going on in a gig, isn't there? So much concentration, and you're thinking about communicating in the audience, and then what chords are coming next, and then what's the form. Is it another verse here, another repeat, and the dynamics. There's an absolute multitude of different things going on in your head, and you're trying to just focus on the music and communicate, and then like, how am I doing? Do they like it? All that as well.
How am I doing? Do they like it? I mean, that's an interesting.
But all the focus and the concentration, all those sort of things that when you haven't done it for a while and you come back into that situation, it's a bit of a shock sometimes, because when you've done it for a long time, like you have and I have, you sort of think, that's second nature. And as you say, sometimes when you haven't been doing it so regularly and you find yourself there, the
bike is
realise,
a little bit wobbly. That's what I think. Sometimes the wheel shakes a bit in the front.
I mean, when you're doing your opera and you'll be practicing hours every day and rehearsing hours every day, and a lot of jazz musicians who are
on the top of their game.
That's what they're doing. Gigs all the time. Will practice hours and hours every day, their whole life. And sometimes I think, that's what I'd like to take a couple of years out and just practice. And because, as I say, doing the studio and production thing, that's not what my focus is and my living is. I love doing it. I love going out and playing. But it's not. It doesn't pay the gig. It doesn't pay the money. When I was doing a lot more of that, you feel your technique. I mean, I can feel it tonight. I said to Sue before we came on, I feel very sort of rusty.
Do you feel rusty playing at speed? Is that where you find your scales? Because what happens? There are massive amounts of scales that happen in classical music, of course. But when you play, if one says to you, play F major, play F major for me, and that's very simple. Right. So that F major, when you play jazz scales, there are about 5 or 6 or 7 jazz scales that you can play, where you can play F major, but in a slightly different way. How would you play it in a different way?
Well, you got minor, melodic one, maybe a diminished scale, whole tone scale. So yeah, there's.
And you're mixing them all the time, aren't you? In jazz.
Yeah.
And that's something that, Masood, you've often found it a little bit overwhelming, haven't you, when you've been to jazz gigs?
Oh, yes.
Because you can't. You
That
can't.
was very emphatic.
Yes. Actually, can I just say, a few people have written in and said that they think you're a bit rusty, Mark. You know?
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
They've all noticed.
Thanks for that,
They've
yeah.
all noticed. No, actually, they're all going, "Oh my goodness, Mark's in the room. Mark's playing. This is incredible." So
I highly doubt
Any-
that.
I don't think they've noticed.
Anybody make any comments that we?
They're just loving it. They're loving the fact that you're making music together. They think you're on fine form, which is great, because with Mark on the piano, you're set free to let that voice just ring out, which is amazing.
Yeah. How is the voice at the moment? That's
very,
just kind of
very fine.
It's
Very
interesting,
fine.
isn't it? I haven't done like this
No.
since last we did it, I suppose, actually. And it means that things...
Sounding great.
It
You are.
has-
As soon as we started playing in the other room a couple of hours ago,
Yeah,
I thought, oh, there it is. It's still there. He's not lost it yet.
there it is.
There it is.
He's not
It's
that
sounding
Well,
fantastic.
do you know what I
Yeah,
always
but-
say? I always say, what a difference a day makes. Can you see the
Oh,
way
that's
I
very
did
good.
that?
And can I just say,
Oh,
the
right.
difference that a day made to Andy Hatvani this week was that he went from his 60s to his 70s.
70s.
So
You're an old
happy
geezer
birthday,
now, mate.
Andy. What a difference a day makes.
Happy birthday. See you Thursday. Here we go.
Was there an introduction to this?
And this is why I love Mark more than anything else. Is there an introduction to this? What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours for the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain. What key you doing this in?
G, that's what you said.
No, F.
Oh, right, you said you wrote G on the thing.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, is that my fault?
That was your fault.
Is
I
it
was
too
only
slow as
copying.
well?
I was only copying what you wrote.
Yeah. So this is why we love jazz. F major. What a difference a day makes. That's it. You ready?
It's still in G.
Let's. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. What a difference a day made.
Much better.
That's much better. Much better. 24 little hours. While the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain, my yesterday to here. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, what a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. what a difference a day makes. And the difference is you. Yesterday was blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights through tears. Since you said you were mine, oh mine, what a difference they make. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day makes. And the difference is you. Oh, my baby, it's Sue. Boom, 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 bottom, boom, 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 boom. We got there in the end, didn't we? That's nice.
Fabulous. Well, it's just proving to people that it is live.
It certainly is. Yeah. It certainly is live, isn't it? When you've been doing a lot of projects, haven't you? Tell us a little bit about what you've been getting up to, because you can find your stuff on Mark Edwards. Is it .com? What are you part of?
markedwardsmusic.co.uk.
markedwardsmusic.co.uk. markedwardsmusic.co.uk. You should go markedwards.com. That's it. It's very simple. Mine, on which you can find everything that you possibly need for your musical needs, jonathanveira.com. You can find his on. It's a very long title. Stand by for it. Hold on. It's very long. It's very long. It's very difficult to get.
I think that's what it is. Isn't it?
Mark Edwards Music at .co.uk.
Yeah, .co.uk.
All right, you'll find it when you search for Mark Edwards, along with other videos of him playing with various very famous people, and you'll want to do it. Not least of all, if you're into Katie Melua, her Albert Hall
yes.
gig, wasn't it?
That's been released on a beautiful heavy-duty vinyl double album.
Gosh,
gatefold. It's really nice.
Beautiful
package that, yeah. Although the last gig that we did at
the end of the last tour for some years, haven't you?
I have done it for about 13 years.
13 years, which is a Katie Melua, who for those of you who don't know and have had your not been in touch, she was a formidable singer-songwriter of the noughties and the 90s noughties, and has had quite a following in Eastern Europe as well. You've been going all around the world with her. No doubt. So what's the touring like then, Mark? Do you like it?
Touring? Touring's, it swings and roundabouts, really. I mean, I've done touring since early 90s, and it's been amazing to travel the world. And when you're sort of tagging along with sort of well-known people, you often get very nice treatment and nice hotels and little treats, and get to play lovely sort of concert halls, and you have a crew, people who take all your equipment and set all that up, and so it's lovely. But as the older I've got, the less I want to be away at home. I mean, I've always done a sort of blend of touring and studio work and jazz gigs, and I think I find it I prefer to be sort of closer to home nowadays. So going away, you kind of feel a bit like you leave life behind when you go, if you go on tour for a few months, everything, I kind of like working in the studio, like, having you round, like going for lunch, take the dog for a walk, watch a bit of crime drama, and work. I get up early, I work, I often work from sort of quite early in the morning in the studio, and I love doing that. So when you're touring, it can be great, but you're just doing that show for like 2 months, whereas when working at home and you're doing different things, maybe I've got probably 3 or 4 albums going on at the moment. We do a week on something, and then I'll jump to something else, and then you come back to it. So there's a lot of variety. You're playing music all day, whereas on tour you are a lot of the time you're waiting around. It might be in a really nice place, or it might be in the middle of nowhere, in the car park of a hockey stadium in Poland, and you're waiting there all day for the gig, and you just play for an hour and a half in the evening, and you play that same set. So it is sort of very much swings and roundabouts.
It sounds glamorous, but it's hard work actually.
There's elements of that are very glamorous and exciting, and then there's a lot of waiting, and travelling, long days nowadays, long days and whole days in airports, and connecting flights, and long bus drives and things like that. And so it's more of a young man's game.
It is, and that's what I found. I was very, very happy to end that part of my life after how many years it was. It felt like a zillion years. I
always think about that. I mean, that's incredibly when you go and do a Covent Garden or something, and you do it, or from an international opera house, and the whole occasion of that, and the orchestra there, and thousands of people. I mean, it's an incredible sort of buzz, isn't it, to do that?
But it lasts. But you have to, for me, to do that level of extreme, I have to treat it as though it was just like having a cup of tea, because if I succumbed to the enormity of it, it was too terrifying. I was terrified as it was. Every performance I went on, nobody ever knew until I retired, and they never knew that I was terrified every time I went on. And I'm sure the diabetes and everything else that came as a result of being terrified every night for 35 years.
Yeah.
And the night I did the last official opera at Opera Holland Park, I came home and I just talked to myself and said, I got away with that. How did I do that? But my point is, to treat it, I never treated it as the Royal Albert Hall, or because I remember being with people, and even my son, say, but you're at the Royal Albert Hall, don't you feel different? No, I don't, because there are 7,000 people there are 14 million people watching. If I think for a second that it's anything more than me coming out and singing, I'm lost. I literally am lost, because I don't have that level of control over what I do. Whereas if I'm and it's very different for you. That's a really different experience to what I have as a session music. When I'm touring, I'm always backing somebody else up, and the old bloke lurking about in the shadows in the back, and I very rarely get any of that sort of nerves. And also when it's like, what can really go wrong if there's a wrong chord or it's gone in a second. No one knows. Where it's very different when you're fronting the whole thing, and if you fail,
and you're physically, you've got to be absolutely match fit, and if something goes with your voice, or there's nothing you can do. I mean,
I remember going to see Jonathan.
Let's have you on screen. Are we on screen?
Yeah, she'll put me on screen in a second. I remember when I came to see you in was it Boris Godunov, and
oh goodness, yes,
Jonathan played surprisingly a mad monk, and he sort of had to leap on a chair and sing furiously sort of like 5 verses of this song, and it was in English, but that made it worse really, and the orchestra was thundering away beneath him, and all I could think of was, my goodness, if he goes wrong, there's no sort of moment, you know, it's a you got to keep
Yeah,
going
yeah.
because you've got this sort of 80-piece orchestra that's thundering away below you, and
But that's always been my life,
yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely.
But you know that with all the speed stuff that I always used
yes,
to do.
yeah.
And it was always, if I took it was like going down the wrong way down the M25. You cannot turn around. Once you start, you're committed. You can't stop it. And music, drama has its own tempo and pacing, and that keeps going. The same as when the song starts. You know, we stop there because we're in this room. But generally, in opera, you don't stop. I think I've only ever, I remember in Denmark, the conductor just refused to carry on. He said the tenor was a replacement tenor, and he sung everything an octave down. Everything was an octave down until Carlo Andretta. He was in the middle of the Force of Destiny, La Forza del Destino by Verdi, and it's a very troublesome opera. And this guy could not sing it. He'd been hired in at £5,500 to do this. And he just took it. I cannot stand this! Smash! He does not sing! Why he not sing? In the middle of the performance.
No.
And so, it's hilarious. And it was I love this kind of stuff. It's kind of meat and drink to me. Let's sing a song. Let's sing, and then we're going to come back to you and talk about some of your projects and stuff in detail, what you're doing, and what's kind of flicking your switch at the moment. I know there was one that was a kind of cross-cultural project that I'm interested in. You know, that was quite interesting. Why don't we do Misty? Because that's the one that we were having a look at. That's the one that goes through three different keys, and it's not
Now, Mark, make sure you start in the right key.
We're in A major. All right, Mark. All right. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. And I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear. I get misty wherever you're near. Don't you know that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Can't you see that I'm hopelessly lost? That's why I'm following you on my own. And I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. Don't you know that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own, should I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove? I'm too misty and too much in love. I'm too misty. Oh, I'm too misty and too much. That's right. In love.
Fabulous. Sylvia Newman's just said, so free and relaxing, perfect combination.
She's a real jazzer. She was
Might be relaxing for Sylvie.
I mean, this woman, Sylvia, bless you for saying that. And
Thank you, Sylvia.
Attending, she's really knowledgeable. She's been to all the great jazz players of our time with her husband, Fred, back in the day,
really?
in the 60s and 70s, yeah. Always there in Brighton, actually.
Oh, really?
She lived in Brighton, lived in Hove, well, just outside Brighton in Hove.
Well, Brighton is the jazz city, you know.
Well,
There's
isn't
so much music going on in Brighton.
Tell us a little bit about that, because there's a little story you've got, isn't it? Because somebody asked if I would do this. Al has asked me if I would do this one, and I haven't done it since I recorded it, if I'm honest with you. And it was a Nina Simone song. So tell us your Nina Simone story then, because everybody has a Nina Simone story. I mean, I know.
Yeah,
that,
of course I
know
do.
that.
Yeah, well, there are many
so
Nina
many.
Simone stories. Yeah.
But tell us this particular one.
Well, I just did a. It's not really a funny anecdote or anything. It's just it was a bit of an education, really. But I did a support slot for Nina Simone in about I don't know 80. When did it be? About 1980, late 80s, I think.
How will it be towards the end of her career?
She went off for a bit after that, yeah. But she was notoriously famous for not showing up. Yeah. I mean, she didn't. There is the story that she one night she had a week at Ronnie Scott's and she didn't turn up one night, and no one knew where she was. She'd gone missing like a sold out show. Nina's, and then the next night she walked in just before showtime, like apparently carrying a sort of carrier bag, a sort of Tesco carrier bag, just sort of turned out. And they said, sorry, Ronnie threw her out. Said, you can't do that. You can't not show. We had all these people anyway. But so she did have she was a kind of her own allure unto herself. But then many
good reasons as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's just a very famous story from us. But no, I mean, I was really fortunate to do this support slot with my friend Julian Nicholas, great saxophone player, in the Brighton Festival, probably, I think it was in '88. But again, on that day, she didn't show before the gig. She wasn't there for sound check. She didn't show during the support set, and no one really kind of knew. So you got the Brighton Dome, which is, I don't know, maybe 1,500, 2,000 people, sold out or waiting. And I remember it, and we did our bit. And then it got to the interval, and she did. She turned up, and it was just absolutely amazing to see her do it. But
you watch her?
Yeah, of course, yeah. What I remembered was about it really struck me was like the first 3 tunes was so quiet. And I know her drummer when she was working in Europe, a guy called Paul Robinson, who's a fantastic English drummer who worked with her for like 20 years. And I've done quite a lot of gigs with Paul. And fabulous, very sensitive drummer. But the first few tunes were so quiet and understated. And then it was about the 3rd or 4th tune, there was this huge crescendo in the middle of a piece. And the impact of that was, it was just so dramatic. And I just remember thinking, like, we have dynamics across a song or a section. You had like dynamics across the whole set.
Yes.
And and so much of music now is like so loud and it's like hit you over the head.
Yeah.
It's got to be like razzmatazz from the first beat. And I just really learned on that about drawing people in, and I love that thing when doing gigs where you just start very gentle with nothing, and to draw people in. And then when she did this sort of dynamic sort of lift, it was absolutely amazing.
She inspired the reason I did this song was I'd watched her doing it in Montreux, the very famous, and I'd watched her doing it in another place where she turned her back to the audience completely and sung it, and then she just slammed the piano down. Do you remember? She slammed the piano lid. Do you not remember this?
That's might have been the same concert, but that's a different one.
Was it
we
not
were
Montreux?
talking about earlier. Well, it was. Well, she did do this at Montreux, and there's
famous.
Yeah.
And she was so outright.
She was so passionate, wasn't she? About it?
Well, she was about they talked about human rights, and it had been only 10 years since she'd been allowed to perform in white clubs. But as a black woman, she should have been recognised as a classical pianist. But they said to her, "It's no good. You'll never be. Nobody will take you seriously. Nobody will have you in their white concert halls and do it. So you've got to become a jazz player." And she tolerated it to the degree that she existed with it. But I remember that one performance. And it shook me. It shook me, and I thought, I wish I knew. Because there are times when people say, "Well, what's it like to be brown?" And I say, "Well, I don't know. I haven't really suffered that much, to be honest, racism over the time." But I knew, on behalf of my great-grandmother, who was black, African black, for all the people where she never went up to my father's house ever. She was never welcome there. Because she was black. They didn't go to the wedding when my grandfather, who was Scottish, married her in the 1920s.
Very early.
They absolutely, height of Jim Crow laws and all of that kind of stuff. So when she sings this stuff, I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish you knew how I felt about something. It struck a chord at the time when people Not just for me, because I haven't really. I can't say I've suffered. I can't. But for many people I do know do, and it's a song I wanted to include it in there. It was an odd song to put in, but we had a stab at it, didn't we? When you saw her perform it,
that is an amazing performance, and I'd say to anybody, that whole show, it's just her and a drummer.
Yeah.
There's no one else in the band, and that whole performance at Montreux in '73 or something is so emotional. It makes me cry as well when I see it. It's something. I had the same thing watching Duke Ellington, which leads me on to another project that I've been working on. But Duke Ellington, 1958 Newport Jazz Festival, and there was almost a riot, a performance of his. And the police were people started dancing. They weren't supposed to dance. It was very proper, well-to-do in Newport. The very wealthy and affluent at that time. And watching that performance, or actually hearing it, and there's photos, and it was that feeling of like the struggle that these people have been. That everything about jazz, the togetherness, the brotherhood, the kinship, and the swing and the feeling and the force of that music and what it says. I just find sort of overwhelmingly moving. And
you've been working on a project for that, have you?
Well, I've been working on a project of Duke Ellington music because with Arnie Somergy as well, who played on your record. But Duke Ellington's last recorded performance was in Eastbourne at the Congress Theatre.
Really?
In 1974. Yeah. And we just did an album. And so the piano that was there, the Steinway piano that he played, the last ever piano that he recorded on, is now in our friend's studio in Echo Zoo Studios, formerly ICC Studios in Eastbourne.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and it's been restrung and refurbed, and that's the Ellington piano.
Yeah.
So we've just done an album of music based on the material of that concert, not a reproduction of that, but taken some of his solos, for instance, and written new tunes based on improvisation that he did. And we're going to do that album's going to come out later in the year. And we're also going to do a concert at the Congress Theatre because it's 50 years since so it was recorded in 74, came out in 75, so it's 50 years since that was released.
With a big band, or
there is going to be a big band and a smaller group as well.
When is it? Just so
this
we
will
know?
be it's in, I think it's September.
That sounds like a trip for me. Sounds like a trip for the community. How about that? Getting down there, the JV community on tour in the Congress Theatre. It's a lovely theatre in Eastbourne, in the heart of Eastbourne. This one, let's see. I think it starts slow. I think what key we're in G, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we go to A flat. And we just do
See how he cleverly
three verses.
reminded me what to do there.
Yeah, just subtly. I just thought so it's in G. We start slowly, and you'll recognise it because it's the theme to remember it was old Barry Norman's da da ding da bam bam. Let's go. Say all the things that I should say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole wide world to hear. Oh, I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree every man should be free. Take it. Like a bird in the sky, how sweet it should be if I found I could fly. Oh, I'd soar to the sun and look down to the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free. Now, break down. Oh, I wish I could be like a bird in the sky, how sweet it would be if I found that I could fly. Well, I'd soar to the sun and look down through the sky. Then I know, yes I know what it feels to be free. Oh, then I know, yes I know what it feels to be free. Oh, yes I know what it feels to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, free. Oh, mama, to be free. To be free, bum 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 bum, to be free, to be free. That nearly went well.
Well, considering you only looked
I
at
thought
it
you were
at
going to sing it.
7.
I thought you were going to sing it slow as well.
Oh,
And then
is
speed
that?
up.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
I knew it was my fault.
Well,
It normally is.
It gave a lot of hilarity because there was a lot of, will the youngsters know who Barry Norman is? And Gareth Hill said, I don't know who Barry Norman is. He just wanted to feel young. Speaking of Gareth, he did have a question for Mark. See if I can find it. Can you ask Mark what opportunities there are for him to vary arrangements when working with artists like Katie Melua, where it's a series of songs that people know and expect to hear more or less as the album tracks? So can you ever go off-piste or not?
To be honest, with Katie, I'm not the musical director. I don't really have any much input into the arrangements. They are generally as the record. I think that's it's a shame that a lot of bands now play, use a lot of backing tracks, and people go and they expect everything to sound exactly like the record. I think it's quite a sort of bold thing now for bands to kind of do a departure and rearrange and present the songs in a different way. But I really like it when they do that, and I don't think maybe people do that enough. And
his band, they're constantly ringing the changes. They constantly don't do I think he just went, no, I'm not doing that. Because every night they want to do something different. They're bored. So they go, right, we'll do this, and we'll sit and we'll do that, with the ding, rather than doing da. And that, because otherwise you lose the will to live. And if you don't have creativity, what is the point of it? I just don't.
I think, answering that question, there are some artists who are really up for that, and more in jazz, I think, than pop music. But it does happen. It's always nice when, I think, when you go and hear a band and it's something a bit fresh, a different angle on it. It's a really nice thing to do to give people a different experience or a different slant on the song.
Often that's because you can. Many of the musicians that play, often church musicians and stuff, they play to the records that they've learned, that they've heard, or not the records, but the downloads that they've heard. So in churches, what happens in worship music now is they all learn. They don't have the music. They're sent the track. And they learn by rote the guitar part, this part, the bass part, the drum part.
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started on that. No, but that's part of the thing.
I think that there's things like that which are just habits or cliches that people just fall into in church culture, ways of doing things without really thinking about it.
You led the music at a church for many years, didn't you?
I did. I've been involved in different
music for years,
capacities.
yeah.
But I did run a band, a music group at a church for about 8 years, up until maybe 4 years ago, at an Anglican church, which was really beautiful experience. We had a whole mix match of instruments, and we used music from gospel music to classical music to folk music to.
So there's that as well. That's what you brought, though. That's what you've always brought. You've always
It was a
brought
sort of blank
respect.
canvas there for a while.
Yes.
To do what we wanted.
And then things change, don't they?
Sometimes, people tend to sort of want the latest song, and as you say, everything to sound the same as the records, and there's absolutely no reason to do that. It's just market forces or the illusion of. Not the illusion, or the idea that we're going to kind of get lots of young people. And if we do this and sound like the latest sort of worship star, we're going to get lots of young people. And this is what's cool, And I think, it's a shame that there's not more diverse. I mean, I have seen, I would say, over the last 25 years of working in that music world, I've seen that become more and more defined, the worship style, and less diverse and more formulaic.
Definitely.
And there used to be a lot more diversity in it, and there is when you look at spiritual music around the world. From classical music, choral music, gospel music, incredible creativity and complex music and great musicianship. But in that particular sort of strand of what we would call sort of worship music has become, like pop music, very, very formulaic and very predictable,
and it's where the next hit is going to come from. It's that kind of, it's money led often. It's not. I mean, and I think that's part of the thing about it. I don't care about saying this. I'm up front about it. The whole thing. That's what I found actually. That you're writing a new one to get, the pressure was put on to do the song, so you could get into the CCLI, so you could be in the list, and so you could get the money back. And it felt always wrong to me, always the wrong way round, and I thought this was not a field that I wanted to get into. There's some classic gospel songs. I was just singing one written by Isaac Watts, written in 1740. What's it called? At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I'm happy all the day. Now, it was written, Isaac Watts, logician, a very famous, the mathematician and logician, and he writes this song, and it was the Gaither lot who arranged it, and I just nicked the arrangement a bit and, messed with it a bit, and sat and did it, and somebody came, a friend of mine, Gary, and he said, not a Christian guy, he just came and he said, that was so moving. One of the most... And it's 240 years old or whatever it is, but it has a lot to say. And the music, the motif was very simple, but it's very memorable. Anyway, we don't want to get into that, do we? We've been there, and I think actually we have to finish. Look at this. Oh dear me, I haven't covered half of what we wanted to do.
Take us home.
Well, I think actually I'd like to do, if we can do 2 songs. And one of them is I Want Jesus to Walk With Me. Now, this is always done by Eric Bibb, the blues man. I want Jesus to walk with me in the D minor. I want Jesus to the F, to the C, and to the A. I'm just, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
And you've got a flight tomorrow evening, haven't you? You're going on holiday for 2 weeks. Fantastic. Fantastic, going out to the sun. That's fantastic news. Yeah. And we're very, very... People, if you'd like to write in and express your thanks to Mark, please do so now in your hearts, because he's going away tomorrow. He did a gig in Stamford last night, and he's driven all the way from Peacehaven tonight, and he's going to drive back there. I know he always goes home, and which I'm with you. I'd always rather go home than stay overnight. That's always the way, always come home. And I think people have once again enjoyed you. And I think actually that the plan will be the room. Let's book in a 3-piece in the room. Don't know how it's going to work, but the kit can't be big. It's
Yeah,
just
well,
very basic, but you know,
you don't need, doesn't need to
rhythm,
be.
no,
Yeah.
just a rhythm section, and
You've got some drum screens in there.
yeah,
And,
Got a little plastic box we can put over the top of them.
yeah. We just have to do what we have to do with. I think. I don't know how we deal with live kit. We'll think about that
that's
later.
a bit of an in-joke there.
Anyway, as we go, John Bown, we want to sing this song for you. John, you lost your dear Sam, your brother. Was it last?
Oh, recently, wasn't it? The last month, I think. And the Thanksgiving service was yesterday. Over 300 people were there. He was an immense man of faith, and
he made me laugh. I've never known a man make me laugh so much in all my life. What an extraordinary accent he had. I didn't understand what he was saying for most of the time.
These and
it's
thous.
These and thous. Everything with right. And Sue just literally didn't have a clue. I kind of keyed into it.
He was lovely.
He was a wonderful man. And even with John Bown, who talks almost as much as I do, it silenced John. So John, memories of a wonderful brother. Used to have him every Sunday for lunch for years and years and years. So I Want Jesus to Walk With Me. Can we just try it?
It's more like that.
Oh, I want Jesus to walk with me. Oh, I want Jesus to walk with me all along my pilgrim journey. I want Jesus walk with me, oh, in my trials, walk with me, oh, in my trials, oh Lord, walk with me, oh, when the shades are falling, I want Jesus to walk with me. Bring it down. In my sorrows, walk with me. In my sorrows, oh Lord, walk with me. Oh, when my heart is aching, Lord, I want Jesus to walk with me. Pray for us now, go on. Walk with me, oh, in my joys, oh Lord, walk with me, oh, when my life is filled with laughter, I want Jesus to walk with me. In my trials, walk with me. In my sorrows, walk with me. Oh, when my life laughter. I want Jesus to walk with me. Walk with me. Walk with me. Walk with me. Oh, Jesus. And now, brilliant.
Well,
Nice little.
just lots and lots
Thanks
of
for
response
having
from
me.
people saying thank you so much, Mark,
Oh,
for coming.
thank you for having me.
Us
It's an
for
absolute
inviting
pleasure.
him, and for having such a great evening. And go and have a lovely holiday.
Thank you. Oh, it's always a joy to
But
be
come
here.
back
It's lovely
after
to
you've
see you
had a lovely
both.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, come back after.
Thank you so much.
If you could do it once a week, that'd be great. And so, I think actually, the one I want to do, which is always our. When we recorded this one, we recorded it with Claire. If you remember back in the day. And we recorded it in the ICC studios, as they were then.
Yeah.
And it was on an album called Travelling Songs. If you haven't got that one, get it from us. And I cannot recommend to you more highly that you either go online on YouTube or something or buy a CD. Help us by buying a CD. They cost 10 quid, and that's it. And we'll send plus postage packing, and we will let you have it. And then you can see all the details of the lyrics and who played what and where. And that is through the shop, jonathanveira.com. You can get it on jonathanveira.com. So much easier than anybody else's website here on this particular room. And jonathanveira.com, and go to the shop, and you can listen before you buy, and then buy online. We'll send that to you. And this album is from Travelling Songs. And this one is for, as you go into this week. It might be a tricky week for you, and I know P and Rachel, you're going into unknowns. Adrian, you're going into unknowns. The Bounds, you're going into unknowns as well. So many people that we know who we try and care for. Marion Gaff, if you're listening, you're going into unknowns, and I will come and see you soon, when I can, okay? But we send big love out to you from this community to yours. And this one is His Eye is on the Sparrow. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Oh, why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches. I know he watches. Yes, I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on that little sparrow, and I know he watches. I know he watches. Yes, I know he watches you and me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Edwards. Round of applause, the crowd go wild.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you,
What
Sue. Thanks for having me.
No, every time is our pleasure. And as we go, it's 58, and I think I've still got the words. Do you know what? I still need the words after all this.
You've got the words?
I think I have.
Yeah.
Have you got them there?
No,
Thank
I've
you.
got them there. You just keep talking. I'll give you the words.
And this one, as we go peaceful, in gentleness, through the violence of these days, give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Through darkness, now I don't remember the go peaceful.
In
There we
troubled
go.
times.
And let's just do that one, and then we're going to go in
Yeah.
this for tonight anyway. All right, and here it goes. Backing track. Here, let's go. Recognise that? Oh, Rachel, you're such a slick producer. We love you. It's great when Rachel's in. She's coming to stay. That's going to terrify me for a number of days. I think I'll need to sing Go Peaceful quite a few times. Right, put that wire there. Don't do this and don't do that. I'll be singing this song. Get out. We don't want you. What we do without Rachel. And David Hicks, of course, who's going to be coming in. And Al, that song was for you. Remember that? That was for you. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Oh, I hope you have a good week this week. I hope this song helps you along the way. Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame. God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known by love. truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. God hold you and fold you and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. God hold you and fold you and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. And I hope we've had our Australian friends in who will be coming over to the UK in September. Chrissy and Lucas. And if you want to watch this again, remember you can watch it on Catch Up tomorrow. Keep watching it through the week and get blessed and blessed again by my mate. Put him on the screen, will you please, Rachel? Here he is to say goodbye. God bless you, mate. Lovely to see you.
Thank
See you again.
Mark. Thank you.
God night.